Boo! Hey, this is Professor Fay with your anatomy lesson of the day. We're going to talk about the orbit, the maxilla, and the mandible. All right, so I have to stand up for this one. So the frontal bone hooks around into the orbit of the eye to form some of the superior aspect of that. If we go around laterally, we get right into here. That's the sphenoid bone, which we know is more like the pterodactyl shaped structure in the skull. From the zygomatic bone, that hooks up and around into the orbit. The maxilla also hooks up into the orbit. We've got the lacrimal bone here making up part of the orbit, and a little more posterior to that is the ethmoid bone. So those are the bones of the skull that make up the orbit. If we take a look at the maxilla, there's a couple little holes in there. Those are called alveoli. So all the holes that your teeth sit in are the alveoli. We also have alveoli on our lungs. They're the little air sacs in there. Don't confuse the two. Then for the mandible has alveoli as well, and also a couple other holes, this hole and this hole over here. If you go in a thinker pose, these holes are called the mental frame, and you cover them up in that pose. But you're also covering up a part of your jaw called the body of the mandible. And then back here, this little extension of bone is called the ramus of the mandible. If I pull this out a bit, not cooperating with me. Bye. All right, if I pull that out, we can then see those two projections or processes a little bit better. This is called the mandibular condyle or condylar process, and this is called the coronoid process. So those are the bones of the orbit, the maxilla, and the mandible, and all their special little features.